children of all ages. Welcome to episode 6 of the Disrespectful Truth Podcast with your boy DJ Dyzell, Chancellor Trump, and JTM Josh the Man.
Handle it.
We want to thank y'all for supporting us, liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. And if you have any comment, please leave it below this video right here. And I want to make a special shout out to Created Media Group, the person responsible for helping us create this podcast and curate this podcast. But we're going to jump right into it. Guys, can you share your personal experience growing up in a single-parent house or a two-parent house and how they differentiate?
I had I don't know if this counts, but yeah, I was in a single parent household. It was just my mom, but I didn't need my dad there because we were poor. All right, we were poor.
Talk about it, Josh.
So we were poor. So we had, I think, a 3-bedroom house with like 6 families in it. So I mean, I'm talking about when it's time to go to bed, we pull out. We had the fans and we pull out the mattresses and the multiple mattresses in the living room. But I won't even lie. As a kid, I didn't know we were poor. I had fun. It was so much fun. I had my cousins there. I had my uncle and my aunties there. And so every morning we wake up and it was, breakfast, everybody laughing, music playing. It was actually a really good time when I was young. But
what about you, Chancellor? I know you grew up in a single-parent household. How do you, explain to us how that experience was and how it molded you to be the person that you are today?
Mother had me when she was 20. That's how I'm able to keep up with her age. But then she did have other relationships throughout my life, but the one that lasted the longest was when I was already in high school. But when I was with her and it was just us, she's been the breadwinner. She's always been the breadwinner. I do not believe in the saying when people say, "Oh, every household needs a father," because my mother raised me. I didn't have no father like that until I got, up there. But to me, I mean, I had a childhood. I had everything a child would want. Never was hungry. Never had the lights off. I had a very decent upbringing with a single mother.
Before you go, Dyzell, can I get a little disrespectful on this?
Hey, go ahead, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna
it's called the disrespectful truth.
I'm gonna humbly disagree with what Chancellor Trump just said.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna tell you.
Don't even think about it.
I'm gonna tell you. The reason why I disagree with that is because yes, I was also being in a single parent home, being raised by my mom. Growing up, I noticed that the masculinity was not there, and it was missed later. Like, I wish that my father was there to teach me certain things, and then when thankfully, I got my stepfather in the picture, and he did the best to his ability. In the beginning, I wasn't understanding a lot because, again, we didn't grow up with each other, so I didn't have that bond with him yet. But when he got in the picture, a lot of things came into fruition that had an impact on me today. I didn't learn that work ethic that I have in me, that drive, that hunger, that aggression to provide. I didn't get that from my mom. And I couldn't get that from my mom. It's a lot of things that he instilled in me that could not come from my mom, no matter how much of a good job she did, no matter how great she was at what she did, and no matter how much she wanted to instill in me. It was just certain things that only a man could teach me. And I didn't learn it until he stepped in the picture.
Well, I don't think y'all disagree with each other. I just feel like you feel as though...
He definitely disagrees.
I definitely disagree.
Because he disagrees with me, but he can't explain E.J. Johnson.
Who was E.J. Johnson?
Magic Johnson's son, who grew up with both parents, and you see how he turned
hold on.
out.
I'm not. No.
Whoa.
So there are lots of gay.
You know what, Josh?
There are lots of gay athletes. There are lots of gay boxers that grew up with men, and they still came out like that.
Understood. But I never once did I say that everybody's the same. Like even in a single parent household, or even in a two parent household, there is no guarantee how somebody's gonna turn out.
Right.
But there is. You can't ignore that the teachings would be there, or the teachings won't be there. I'm pretty sure Magic John. I'm not. I love you, Magic. But I'm pretty sure he put his masculinity in there, and he had his teaching. So his son can't say it wasn't there, but he still makes his own decision at the end of the day.
For sure.
Right.
So you're kind of like basically you kind of make it Chancellor right. It doesn't matter who's there. A person
is who they are.
They are who they are. They can turn out either way.
No,
you had somebody who came up with a two-parent household
but you're saying
where everything was present, and they still turned out a certain way.
Yeah, but no, that's not what I'm saying.
So remove the father.
No, but that's
different.
Yes, but this is what I'm trying to say. That if the teaching is missing, it's not. I'm not proving them right. The teaching, a woman, a mom cannot teach what a man can teach their son.
I agree with that.
That's what
I can agree with that.
I don't.
I hear you, but she, at the end of the day, she is a mother. She's not a father. If she was if she could teach what a man can teach, her name, she would be a father, or she would be some kind of combination of a new word. But she can't. She's a mom, bro.
Well, coming from a two-parent household,
Go ahead.
I was lucky. God blessed me with two wonderful parents. Rest in peace, my mom, and I was raised by my dad as well. And to be truthfully honest, with me being as vigilant as I was as a child, there are definitely things I got from my father, and there are definitely things I got from my mother. And my mother was one of those women that knew how to lay back and let my dad be a father. You feel what I'm saying? My father taught me a lot of things about being a man, and he was ultimate in his masculine energy. But then I had my mother that taught me how to be understanding and be,
it's that
empathetic.
balance.
It was a balance. But I still understand what Chancellor's saying. He's like, because even if you did have a father, there's still a chance that you can come out.
But I'm not contesting the chance, because that has nothing to do with the parents. That has everything to do with your choice. That's a whole different topic. That's you. That's you as an individual. You are going to be an individual. But dude, it's like going to school. There is no guarantee that you're finna come out of that school as a doctor or a lawyer. But they're going to give you all these teachings for you to do your best. But the teachings have got to be there.
Okay, so that leads me to my next point. How do you think absence or presence of a second parent impacts the child's emotional and psychological development?
It don't.
It does.
It does not.
Okay, so we're going to start with the don't. Why do you feel it doesn't impact?
It doesn't impact because if you have a certain mindset from a parent, and they can protrude that onto the child, and the child will end up the same way. And it goes back to the first question about having a two-parent household versus a one-parent household. Some women, I would rather say the older women from back in the day compared to the women now, choose to instill certain values and skills into children that men, as Josh claims, should be doing, but they don't have to. Women of today don't want to. They don't want to do it. A woman can get on her hands and knees and change a tire. A woman can get on her hands and knees and scrub a floor. She can throw a ball.
She has to be taught that. She's got to be taught that. That means either her mom or her mom got taught by her granddad or somebody. Because remember, back in the day, they had gender roles.
Okay, but she did it.
Okay, but if she did it, where did she get it from?
She got it from someone. I don't know.
But that plays a part in what we're talking about. But I'm not saying that a woman is not capable of doing it. Yes, she can do it. But she has to be taught that. She has to know that from origin. Where's the origin coming from? Usually, it's coming from a man.
So if the woman doesn't know it, that doesn't give her the reputation.
How's she going to know how to pee stand up if she don't have a penis?
Wow. Just to piggyback off of what y'all saying, I understand where both of you are coming from, but I would be remiss if I was to say that if I was raised by my mother, that I would have came out the same. Me, in general, how I process information, how my brain acutes and does things, my dad's imprint is all over that. And if I didn't have him in my life coming up, I would be a totally different person, because my father was the type of person that he would lead by example, but then also explain way later, never right then when it happened, why he did the things that he did. Like, I couldn't go over certain people's house. My mama would say yeah, and then she'd ask my dad, he'd be like, nah, he ain't going there. And I'm like, but why? But why? He was like, because I said so. You know how that went. Yeah. Or it was certain shows he wouldn't let us watch. It was certain things he wouldn't let us do. And it was certain activities. Bro, I was reading Sherlock Holmes in the 5th grade, bro. The book this thick. And I'm trying to figure out, why is this man got me reading while Power Rangers
and even piggybacking off of that, my mother, would let me do certain things, let me get away with certain things. There were certain things that was installed in me from my mom before my stepfather came in the picture, and I hated my stepfather because he was putting no in place. Roadblock. I couldn't do what I wanted to do, and I felt like later, especially later on, me becoming a parent, I see why. Unfortunately, he did not explain to me during that time period. That's the only thing I can say that my stepfather wasn't great at, in my opinion. But the fact that he said no to certain things, and when I later realized why he said it, I'm like, well, that made sense. Had I let my mom just, let me kind of do certain things that, I wanted to do because she loved me.
Yeah.
She nourished me.
Yeah, you mama's
she
baby.
Wanted to be like, I'm mama's baby.
Go ahead, baby.
Go do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? If I went over a certain friend's house, who's to say I wouldn't be on the news later on because something's going on at their house and I had no idea what it was, but I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to go with my friends at house and play video games. Had no idea, probably hypothetically, so probably his parents was, a pedophile or whatever, and some weird stuff is going on. Or on my way to the movies with no proper guidance, I get kidnapped or I get shot, hanging around the wrong people. It's a lot of things that could have happened because I didn't have that masculine no in place, that masculine how-to in place. Because my mom would just let me, okay. So it's kind of unfair to me. I think it's kind of unfair to the single mother to be dad and mom.
Oh, it's most definitely
because
unfair.
They have to find that balance.
I agree.
When you have a two-parent household, they don't have to be a balance. It could be dad, discipline and doing all that, and mom, and that's the natural balance, and it's easier on both of the parents. But to put that on one person,
not fair.
that is a lot to ask for.
It's definitely not fair to ask. So listen, in today's society, it is definitely unfair to ask a African American woman, because them the women I deal with, that's the community I'm talking to raise an African American man. It happens more so often than we would like to, admit, but these women, they have to raise these young men, and it's showing that men are lacking the principles and the things and that a man is supposed to impose in you. But you might be lucky. You might have a situation where you got an uncle that steps into your life.
Facts.
And he's your father, or your grandfather stepped into your life.
But that's still
because what Chancellor not telling y'all is his granddad was instrumental.
Come on, somebody.
You feel what I'm saying?
Come on, somebody.
So he might not long for the father figure,
but you had a father figure.
He had some type of a father figure in his life, and I can almost guarantee you, if he didn't have his granddad, he'd be totally different. I understand.
Hold on. Let the man speak.
I'll be the same.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
I am me. No matter if I was raised by monkeys, I'm still me.
You know what, Josh? Are there any? Josh, in your opinion, are there any important factors to consider when comparing the benefits and drawbacks of being raised in a single-parent home versus a two-parent home?
Whoa, give that to me one more time.
I said, are there any drawbacks when comparing the benefits of being raised in a single-parent home versus a two-parent home? So what's the drawbacks of being raised in a single-parent home, and what's the drawbacks of being raised in a double-parent home, if any? Do you think there are any? I know it's a loaded question, my boy. Come on.
That's a lot.
Well, I can start right here. If you're raised in a single-parent home, and whether it's absent of the mother or absent of the father, depending on which sex is absent, you're going to have a hard time dealing with that sex and relationships. So say if you were raised by your mom, you're going to understand women on a whole nother level because you raised by your mom. But that can also affect how you view women in the fact of trying to deal with them and date them. Because if I've seen situations where, even with me, you go out there and you're looking for a mate and you be looking for your mama. Now, you really be looking for the characteristics and the things that your mom showed you in the women that you date. And I don't care what no man say, if you had a good relationship with her. Now, you have some people that didn't have a good relationship with their mom, and they're looking for the exact opposite of that. And same thing with daughters and their fathers. Any African-American female that grew up with their daddy, that had a good relationship with their daddy, they're looking for their daddy out here.
So I will say this, and you got a good point there. When it comes to a single-parent household, there's no other person in there, the drawback is you don't get to see with your eyes, you don't get to see how a man is supposed to treat a woman sometimes.
Oh man, okay, okay, Josh, you preaching.
Or you might see the wrong thing, especially if she's going in and out or she's having a lot of dates. Maybe that man is mistreating her. You might see that in a single parent household. But not to say you can't see it in a double parent as well.
You definitely can see it in a
double parent. But at the same time, you would have to hope that double parent household, they know what they're doing as far as, even if that were to occur, they don't do it in front of you out of respect that this is they're your parents. Like if they have arguments and stuff like that, you're supposed to keep that in a room away from the child. And what you show the child is how to love on, their mom, giving hugs, giving kisses, giving flowers, being a gentleman to her, always showing that you appreciate her. They keep their love sparkling, and they keep it fire. Now, if you in a 2-parent household that it's miserable, you see it all the time, then guess what? It'll be better to be in a single parent household. If there's abuse going on, all that kind of stuff, if that's what you're watching, if that's what you're seeing, so it's hard, man. It's up in the air depending on the individual.
Yeah, it all depends on the people too. You can have a single mom that does an amazing job raising her kids. She does the best that she can, but you can have a person with both parents and both parents abusive, both parents drug addicts, both parents crackheads.
But when it comes to what we're talking about in aspects of relationships, like if we were talking about how would it affect them on a relationship side, then it's hard. It's hard.
It depends on the person.
It depends because it's going to come down to the relationship.
It's going to come down to
that relationship.
A person communicating to you like, hey, listen, this is how I grew up. This is how I saw love to be placed in front of me, and this is how I saw relationships to be placed in front of me. So this is what I know and how I'm used to going about things. If you have another way, or you feel like there's something we could do this a better way, you're going to have to show me, because this is how I'm programmed.
Let me drop y'all some gems. Let me drop y'all some gems, because I've been told I'm different. I'm a different breed of guy, blah, 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 as
That's cap, but go ahead.
Anyway, so I'm gonna tell you like this. I didn't learn a lot of aspects of relationships and dating with what I saw when it came to my family or my friends, because I had a lot of bad examples. Where I learned it from, and people be laughing, but it's the freaking truth, I learned it from television. I sought this out from TV, and I ain't talking about no Love and Hip Hop and all this dumb crap that's out today.
All of that is cap.
Listen to these gems right now. If you are having trouble and you're struggling, I sound like an info commercial. If you're having trouble and you're struggling, put on some damn Different World. Put on the Cosby Show. Put on the Fresh Prince. Put on Martin, bro.
Whoa, they don't know about that, Josh.
Put on Family Matters. Put on Full House.
We're talking to Gen X's, Josh. They don't know nothing about that.
They don't have time to watch that stuff. They online. Getting ready for their OnlyFans
content. Go online.
I keep telling you that.
Go online and put on Family Matters. Look for some episodes. Put on Full House. I'm trying to tell you. Put on Kevin Sorbo Hercules. Teach you how to be a man. I'm trying to tell you.
They missed that.
As a kid, we absorb these things. And if you want to be a man, you'll find it. But
Josh, to be truthfully honest with you, we're our generation that from the 80s to the mid-90s. I ain't going to say the late 90s because they crazy. We had a lot of examples out there of what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Now they got a lot of examples of what not to do.
And they think that's what it is to do.
It's like you watching Love and Hip Hop, and you watching Housewives, and you watching all this reality TV, and people think that is real. That is cap. That is fiction.
They try to teach all this stuff about empowering and coming together
to program you to act ignorant like that, and keep you subjected to it and keep you addicted to it. That is not those people do not act like that for real.
No,
I mean some of them do. Don't get me wrong.
Can't come out
dude.
With
when them cameras go off,
they do not. I don't care. Even though
they
some
go
of them
on to their lives
exactly,
and they live in a totally different way from what they're showing.
They ain't popping off 24/7. D. They ain't popping off 24/7. Even the ones that we say, oh, some of them do. No, they don't. They ain't popping off 24/7. That is not realistic.
I want y'all to understand. That'd be like a month put into 30 minutes. Like that'd be a month of somebody's life put into like a 30 minutes to an hour. So you mean to tell me
in a month
that whole time that they showed you all the negative stuff over the month or whatever the situation is. So I want people to stop using them examples. They're horrible. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. What Josh said is kind of corny, but It's the truth. Like A Different World,
I got it.
Family Matters, all of those things.
I got it.
Like that, we grew up watching that stuff, and we inspired to raise families like that. Like I want to have a wife and kids and a daughter and all of those things. But then as time went by, everything just got blurred and skewed, and now we in the social media age. And now everybody want instant gratification, and that's not how life works.
And it's funny.
Don't work with nothing like that.
And just to piggyback off of that, and I completely understand why I've been called, oh, you're corny, okay, or that sounds corny. Really, it's a shame that that's called corny, but that's what's being asked for by women, or that's what's being asked for by men. Like these shows showed you what it was like to be in a relationship, supposed to be in a healthy relationship. They will show you things like that. Picking up a woman at 7, bringing her back at a certain time, not trying to get it on the first date, talk about rapes and talk about sex. Like these were real things that was going on in the world, but that's called corny by a lot of y'all out here. But then you turn around and say, I want a good man. I want a man that can understand me.
They don't.
I want a man that I can talk to. I want a man that can understand my emotions and be there for me. I want a man who can be a real man.
Josh, if you was to go in some of these women's journals from back when they was in their early teens, the early 20s, and look at the type of man that they want and look at the Negro that they dating, totally different. Because women are just accepting whatever us men is giving out. And I'm not talking about us in general because we're 3 very different individuals. But, I've been on dates where I get out the car and the girl out the car before me. And I'm like, so you're not going to let me open your door? Oh, okay, I'm not used to that. I go to open the door. You trying to go in the door? Like what are you doing? I go to, like.
For real?
Like chivalry.
I don't even start that.
What you mean?
Because when you do stuff like that, little small cutesy stuff, the one time you don't do it, they're gonna have a whole attitude because you done programmed them to know that that's what you're gonna do.
Well, that's how I operate. So
I was gonna say, but
time that
even,
I don't do it.
I was gonna say, even
I've been programmed my whole life like that.
No,
like,
because it'll turn into a whole argument.
It don't have to. It don't have to. She's right. If that's something that you programmed yourself to do and you're doing it for him, why would you stop doing it? And if you did, why can't you just apologize for? Oh, baby, I'm slipping.
She don't want to hear that. Sometimes they'll make it a whole issue that you didn't open the door this one time.
That's her
well,
issue.
that goes back to communication.
Because you
like, be like, hold on, you
like,
tripping? What you got going on?
Yeah. Like I could be like, okay, you know what? My mind wasn't. I had a rough day at work. Something happened where I slipped up. My bad, baby. Take that L. Move forward. But it should be installed in you.
But I understand where he coming from.
You
know, they take. Women know that we are pattern creatures. Mm-hmm. So the one time you step outside your pattern, who she is? You ain't opened the door for me last night. Who is it?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Exactly. Now you know what I'm talking about.
I understand exactly what he's talking about. But at the end of the day, that's not going to stop me from being who I am. I am programmed to be a chivalrous young man.
Who she is? Who she is? Why you ain't open up the door for me? Who she is?
You was in the shower for 45 minutes.
You usually in there for 40
or 40. What's going on? I'm like, you need to relax. It's not that deep. But
but you started it, so it's gonna continue like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a rabbit hole we can go down.
That's a whole nother show, sir. That's
a whole nother episode.
Oh man.
Which I'll be present for.
Truth be told, I don't think anybody has an advantage from being raised by a single parent household or a dual parent household. I think it's all about what you make of your life from what was given to you. Because you can have 2 amazing parents and be trash.
Yeah.
And you can have a struggling parent and end up LeBron James.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most successful people, he had no daddy. And he put his entire squad on. So
understood, but remember, don't forget your point. I don't know LeBron background like that, but who he had in there to show him that,
his mama.
So that masculinity came from his mom.
Bro,
all
he
of
ain't
it?
got he ain't have
no
daddy,
uncles,
no
cousins,
grandpa, no cousin. It was LeBron and his mama, and now he's one of the most successful people on the planet. But
didn't Shaq grow up the same way with no daddy?
No, Shaq had a daddy. No, Shaq the general. Shaq had
the general.
No, not no pun intended. No, Shaq definitely had a dad, but his dad was really military, very stern, very not. I'm not hugging you. Very, I'm not congratulating you. This is what you're supposed to do. I bred you to be this way type situation.
So yeah, even going back to your point of LeBron had that mom that was that rare exception, which I was speaking of as far as like. They shouldn't have to do that.
Oh no, not at all. But she did it.
But she did it, and that's awesome.
She did it, and it is possible with one or two, because we got some people that don't have no parents and raised by their grandparents. Like it's
But I'm sorry, dude. That's still parents but my grandma was my mama. Even my mama know my grandma was my mama. So that's parents.
You okay? You need a moment, because I know that I know Nana is a touchy subject for you. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We thank y'all for tuning in to the Disrespectful Truth Podcast with JTM Josh the Man, Chancellor Trump, and me, DJ Dyzell, aka Dyzell. We need y'all to like, comment, and share this video. Like, comment, and share, and tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. We'll be dropping a new episode. If y'all got anything y'all want to ask us, anything y'all want us to talk about, please leave your comments in the comment section. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. We want to get all the love. We want to hear the hate. We want to hear the critiques. All that. We want you to get your mama on here, your grandma, your baby mama, your baby daddy, your crazy son, and your crazy daughter. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all next time.